announcement on QSO. Apologies for the...
Yep.
Morning all, this is G4FKK.
Well, good evening everyone. I'm Peter, VK3BFG, and I'm transmitting from a suburb of Melbourne called Wantirna South. So welcome to the second session of the 2025 ATV QSO party. Well, we had some fun in the first session, that's for sure. Not to mention audio problems, which is absolutely usual. It always seems to be that, doesn't it? Plus we had a few others as well. But thanks to Richard, VK3VRS, who in the background was helping out like you wouldn't believe. It was excellent effort. And without Richard, it probably would have fallen over. But anyway, we managed to scramble through it all. So I guess it's been entertaining in one sense. I would just like to say thanks to Art, WA at RMC in Columbus, Ohio, and Bill, AB0MY in Boulder, Colorado, and also Roland, KC6JPG in Los Angeles. And of course now I'd like to thank Martin G4 Foxtrot Kilo Kilo, who's anchoring the UK in this time. And without too much further ado, we're going to move straight to VK3 RTV 2, and we'll have Dave, G8 Golf Kilo Quebec, who we all know and often read about and sometimes see about on TV. So over to you there, Dave, and thank you for coming up.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter. Thanks very much to Peter and Richard for setting all this up. It's a significant effort, I know. Just going to cut the phone so I don't get loads of delayed feedback, which is really disconcerting. Very good morning to you all. Thanks for getting up, especially I know some people have got up in the middle of the night to watch this, so that's really good. I'm going to briefly talk about the Portsdown and ISS Ham TV. So let's switch over to the presentation. Let's see if all that should work. Just for about 10 minutes, let's crack on straight away. First of all, I'm going to talk about the Portsdown project status, and then ISS Ham TV, which is currently engaging a lot of our brains here and in the US and also in Australia, I'm pleased to see. Portsdown 2020, as its name suggests, it's been around in this form for 5 years now. It's actually a development, something that's almost 9 years old now. But still very much supported, still in use in my shack. If you don't do a software update, it will certainly work forever. You can still actually do software updates and it still stays alive. So still supported, and we're still looking after it. But it doesn't currently support PicoTuner. That's one thing I need to get around to doing, but works fine as a receiver with MiniTuner. Portsdown 4, this is the main event still at the moment. It does support PicoTuner, and it's got a comprehensive suite of test equipment, including noise figure meter, noise meter for measuring sun noise, band viewer of course, and a signal generator. And you can web control that from a browser. Which is very useful if you're out in the garden. You can actually control it from your phone and look at the picture on your phone whilst tweaking dishes and the like. And it is the latest fielded capability, and it's getting all the new features. Raspberry Pi 4s will be available for many years hence, so there's no project risk there. Now, I briefly talked last year about the Portsdown 5. This uses the new Raspberry Pi 5, or new I say, it's about 2 years old now, and it will actually run on an HDMI screen with a mouse. That's the one thing I've introduced in it. That's about the only thing it does better than the Portstown 4. The Raspberry Pi 5 has proved to be quite disappointing in that we can't get access to the hardware H.264 video encoder that we use so successfully in the Portstown 4 and the Portstown 3, or Portstown 2020 by another name. We had hoped that the software encoding would be up to the job of replacing the hardware encoder, because of course it's a much faster processor, but it still has its issues. It'll encode test cards quite nicely, it'll encode static pictures, but the moment you move you exceed the bit rate, and as far as DATV is concerned, the picture freezes. And I haven't been able to get over that. If anybody's managed to sort it out, I'd love to hear how they've done it. However, I do see it developing as a platform for receiver and test gear and utilities, things like eventually receiving SRT and the like. So Portstown has been on the agenda this year, but the main thing that's come up has been ham TV. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, there is recently been reinstalled a 10-watt DVB-S transmitter in the Columbus module of the ISS. Now, this transmits on 2395 megs, 2 megasymbol QPSK, NTSC. You will notice when people receive it, you will notice the picture quality is not what we've recently come to expect, but it was state-of-the-art 10 years ago when it was designed. Recently been recommissioned, having been zapped by a bit of radiation about 6 years ago, and got back up to the ISS with a few repairs on it as well. But it's awaiting a camera adapter, because in the meantime the ISS has moved from NTSC quite sensibly to HDMI, so it's awaiting an adapter before we can get some video out of the thing. The main function of the ham TV transmitter is to provide video for school contacts, and when we used it when Tim Peake was on the ISS 6 years ago, it really did make a big difference. You can see the transmitter on the left there being installed by the Italian astronaut about 7 years ago, and the picture quality there you see on top right is that's a received picture actually received on my kit from Tim Peake during a school contact. Now, receiving ham TV is a real amateur radio challenge. We're back to proper amateur radio, I think. It's quite a challenge. There are only 3 short passes each day typically, and each pass between 5 and 8 minutes. Now, so this thing moves across the sky quite quickly. Many of you will have seen it at night. You need about a 60 centimetre dish. 8 is probably ideal. 1.2 starts getting a bit more challenging on the tracking. A helical feed because it's circular polarisation, and an LNA for 2395 megs. That's where the RF challenges start, because certainly in the UK we've got Wi-Fi only about 10 or 20 megs above 2395, and even worse, we've got 4G has moved into the band at 2380, and that is really strong in some places, so you need some decent filtering on the front end. Acquisition, you've only got a 5 or 8 minute pass, so you can't afford to mess around with scanning like you would have to do on a domestic satellite receiver to find the signal. So Minituner or Pikachuner is really required for the fast acquisition. So there's 3 elements there, tracking the thing, getting the RF right, and receiving the video. This is a typical domestic installation. I use an 80 centimetre offset dish, you can see on the right there. I use a Yaesu G5500 and use PST rotator on my PC to control it. Now the great thing about PST rotator is you can also track sun noise. To give an idea, you're looking to get to about 1 or 2 dB of sun noise to be able to get decent ISS ham TV reception. I've got a 3-turn helix there under the special waterproof enclosure, which is a little bin bag, and G4DDK LNA feeding into a down converter. No, you don't need to use a down converter. If you put more gain in there, you can go straight into the mini tuner. The little green box there in the corner of the patio houses the rotator controller and so I think there's an RF filter in there as well. Now, of course, we've only got this, the ISS is only in view for 5 or 8 minutes, depending on your obstructions. I mean, my obstructions are 30 degrees on one side, 20 degrees on the other, so I don't see it for very long. Now, when you're doing a ISS astronaut contact, of course, you're on 2 meters, which is less prone to vulnerability from obstruction. So we were finding that the video was lasting less time than the audio. So one of the things we've looked at is using multiple receivers and combining the feeds. Now, you can either do this with switching, but why not do it smart and actually take the feed from each receiver over the internet and combine them to get the best picture. And that's what the ham TV merger does. This is a joint ARIS and BATC project led by Phil M0DNY. And it uses multiple receivers. You send the transport stream to the server. The server picks out the best packets from all the streams and provides a single video feed. So we're now looking for ground stations to run this around the world, specifically in areas where near schools doing ham TV contacts, but actually everywhere would be really good. The merger client actually isn't too difficult. The next release of Portstown 4, for example, will include the software to send signals from your Minitune or Picotune up to the ham TV merger. And that's just another, I've just put another screen in the Portstown 4 to do that. And if we get enough stations doing this, a good network of domestic stations, you know, we're looking for them across UK, across Europe and across Australia. This will enable longer video receptions for the schools. So in summary, the Portstown mature, well supported, both Portstown 2020 and Portstown 4. Still keep an eye on them. As far as digital amateur TV is concerned, although some people did it 6 years ago, receiving ham TV is the next challenge for a lot of us. And we are looking for volunteer ground stations to support the ham TV merger worldwide. And if people would like to email me at treasurer@batc.tv, if they would like to volunteer, I can put them in touch with the community to start getting that underway. So that's all I have this morning. Really good to see the QSO well supported. Thanks again to Peter and Richard, and I'll hand back to Peter, and I'll be hanging around and we'll take questions on either through Peter or on the S-Hail Cure 100 web chat channel. Thanks a lot, and good morning, good evening all.
Yeah, I got a solid red. Okay. Good evening or morning, as the case may be. Welcome to the UK stations and possibly some other European stations later on. Got a couple of extras here tonight that we didn't have this morning, so that's good to see. So yeah, we'll head over to Dave at Perry and we'll move from there. So over to you, David.
Okay, thanks very much, Bevan. Hopefully we've got audio happening. My name is David from Port Pirie in South Australia. We're about 50 odd kilometres east of Whyalla, and what I'll do is I'll just pop a little map up so you can have a bit of a look-see as to where we actually are. So here we are looking at a map of South Australia. You see Adelaide down there in the bottom right-hand corner. And above that you'll see Port Pirie, which is about 230 kilometres north of Adelaide, or for the guys in America, about 125 miles north of Adelaide. Whyalla is where Bevan is from, which is just over there to the left, to the other side of Spencer's Gulf, about 54 kilometres away. And just to the right, if you see the word Port Pirie there, our repeater is about where the T is in the port of Port Pirie, and the word there. So that gives you a bit of an idea if you've got some inkling of what Australia looks like, the two gulfs at the bottom down in South Australia. That will give you some idea as to where we are located. I was going to try and get a map of Australia to make it a bit clearer for you, but I was a bit surprised we come out a bit quicker than I expected, so that didn't happen this evening. Anywho, what we'll do now is we'll go and have a quick look at some scenery from around the place, and I've just got to get my system set up here so that I can turn the audio back on. I'll just turn that one down, and okay, so we'll have a look at a bit of scenery from around the area. So here we are looking at the Port Pirie. This is the boat ramp complex, and the bridge that you can see there in the foreground is called the Bridge to Nowhere, because it actually goes nowhere. There was millions of dollars spent on it as a part of a work for the unemployment benefit back in the 60s, and it spans the Pirie River, which is what you're looking at there now. Fisherman's Jetty in the foreground, which is where all the fishing boats tie up. The silos in the background for our wheat exports, and in the background there with a big tall chimney at that's 205 metres tall, that chimney. And that was the Near Star smelter, which is one of the largest lead and zinc smelter and refineries in the world. And that's Port Pirie's claim to fame. So just a bit of a look at South Australia, I suppose. And I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying having a bit of a look around another country, I suppose. And it's great to see you guys from the UK and the guys from America. You can take some of our pigeons if you like them. Rats of the sky, we've got billions of them, so you'd be welcome to those if you would like them. Anyway, I don't have a lot to show you about the shack or any of that sort of caper, unfortunately, but perhaps next QSO roundup we might be able to present something in a little more depth. What you're looking at there is the wheat loading infrastructure on the waterfront, so we can move a bit further forward. There's a shot of our lead smelter with a 205 metre chimney, or stack as we call it locally, and the tugboat coming in to berth. That big green shed there holds lead concentrates that get shipped overseas, so quite a busy little port. Anyway, that's enough of Port Pirie. We'll go back to video. And there we are. So that's my little input for this evening. I hope you found it of some interest, and we'll look forward to doing it again next time. So that's all from me for the moment, but thank you very much, and lovely to see you all there, and very interesting to see all the presentations that you're putting forth. So thank you very much. I'll put it back over to you, John, VK5NL in Whyalla, VK5DMC. Thanks very much. Cheers.
And a very good evening, everybody. That's me flicking the wrong button then. VK5NL here in Whyalla. And would you believe it, I live right next door to Bevan. So, yeah, as Bevan said earlier on, we send the signal 50 k's across the Gulf and then back again, only to talk to next door. Anyway, one member who is missing this year, he's a very early ATVer, one of the few very early ones, and he's gone silent key. I speak of VK5ALX or LX. He will be quite missed, and he was very, very active on the ATV. He was a trendsetter. Now, I belong to the Whyalla Amateur Radio Club. It's only a small group, and every year we do have our International Lighthouse and Lightship Weekend that we attend. It is our main function that we go to because it's an enjoyable one. We have a lighthouse not far away, and this year I thought, well, rather than something else that I've already shown, I thought I'd put up this video instead, and I will introduce some of the members of the radio club who did attend that weekend. So let's have a look at the Lighthouse and Lightship Weekend that we went to. The International Lighthouse and Lightship Weekend is one of the most anticipated and exciting events on the amateur radio calendar. Held annually, it brings together radio enthusiasts from around the globe to operate from historic lighthouses or lightships, combining technical skills with a sense of adventure and heritage. And for the members of the Whyalla Amateur Radio Club, it is no different. This weekend is the most popular event on our calendar. What makes this event truly thrilling is the unique operating environment. Lighthouses and lightships are often located in remote, windswept coastal areas with breathtaking views and challenging terrain, and sometimes unpredictable weather.
Thanks, Russell. VK4 ERW from VK5 Bravo Ski Romeo. Cheers, 73. This is Victor Kilo 5 Bravo Ski Romeo. Victor Kilo 5 Bravo Ski Romeo. Calling Lighthouse and listening.
Our lighthouse, situated at Point Lowry, located a mere 25 minutes drive from Whyalla, and it's the perfect site for the members as the historic lighthouse cottages are made available for the public and make for an ideal weekend venue. Setting up a portable station in these conditions tests the ingenuity and resilience of Bevan, VK5BD, and Steve, VK5MSG, who organise this event every year. In short, we find that the Lighthouse and Lightship Weekend is more than a radio event. It's a celebration of our local history and technology. It blends the thrill of outdoor portable operations with the joy of making long-distance connections, all set against the backdrop of iconic coastal landmarks. For our members, it's an opportunity to step outside the shack, embrace adventure, and be part of a truly global transition.
We finally got in. Oh. Whoops, I think we finally got in. VK5YYY. Thanks for that, VK5NL. And yeah, happy QSO party, everybody. And big thanks to Pete for putting on the spread. Yeah, I've just got a short little clip about Whyalla and a little bit about what goes on around here in VK5. And here is so this is the main street of Whyalla. It's the older part of town, and it's where Whyalla was first formed. There's some older buildings there. Whyalla was formed around the beginning of the last century. There's our beach, and up at the caravan park, and it's a pretty popular spot for fishing. It's a working man's town, but a working man has to play too, I guess. And yeah, some people are pretty serious. Here's our port, and we import things like coke and things to make a blast furnace work, and we export iron ore and steel products. They built a blast furnace at Whyalla mid last century, and a lot of immigrants migrated from Britain and Europe to run the steelworks. There's our blast furnace, and that's going to be replaced one day by a hydrogen operated DRI to directly reduce the iron, and a electric arc furnace which is going to give us green steel, they tell us. So that's the coke ovens, which is no longer functional. Here's some of the local residents down at the marina. There's a pot of dolphins that gravitate towards Whyalla when they're not out in the Gulf feeding, and they follow the boats in and make all sorts of commotions for the tourists. They're quite an icon, and they're very friendly and popular. So here's a emu that dropped by the airport last year, I think it was. It's been pretty dry around Whyalla. Oh no, it says 2020 there. That was ages ago. That must have been our last dry spell, and they come around looking for food, and they're pretty inquisitive animals. They're a bit Cro-Magnon, I would have said, and little fella's a bit confused, I think. Now, there's also been an incident in Whyalla recently where the locals were a bit toey, and yeah, it was a bit of a commotion at the local service station. Not quite sure why you need to get this excited about getting petrol, but it's a bit of a excitement for Whyalla. Now, here's the the other local inhabitants out in Spencer Gulf. These are our local cephalopods, the squids, or cuttlefish as they're known, and they come to Whyalla once a year to aggregate and breed, which is quite intense. They're very iridescent in the sunlight, and you can see the colours changing on their backs there. They get very agitated and excited when they're mating, and whoops, there's me. And yeah, it's been quite a revolution for tourism. A lot of people come to see them from all around the world, and yeah, that's a little bit about Whyalla. So I hope you enjoyed that, and yeah, I hope everyone enjoys the QSO party, and thanks to Bevan for putting it on here locally, and Pete for running the show, and Richard, who's working hard behind the scenes. All right, I'm going to hand it over to VK5FQ. So over to you, Steph. I'll drop my carrier, and I'd hope that Bevan will flick over to SRT.
Yeah, thanks there, Roger. Very interesting to see what you guys are doing, and and it's been a while since I've been to Whyalla, so it's good to see. This is my first time on the QSO party, so many thanks for Bevan for doing the controls in Whyalla. My name is Steph. I'm located here in Adelaide, which is a few hundred k's away from Whyalla or Perry, and I'm using SRT to go into the repeater. So I thought I'd give a bit of a quick show how I came into being in ATV. I've been here for about 30 years, but before that I was in Whyalla, and in Whyalla we had analog TV. So some of you may have remember things like the converters we used to make for amateur TV, and what else can I show you? Oh, I'm getting used to playing with OBS, so I'll this is the inside of the things. So a lot of soldering required many years ago for our analog componentry. So which that was good, and I've reused some of the parts lately to make some filters. So analog TV is out, isn't it? We haven't used it for some time. What else can I show you? Let's have a look. BB. Back in the day, I made a analog transmitter. It was on 426.25 and 440.25 when we had the lower part of the bands, but as with anything else, it was utilised by other people for other purposes, but we used to make our own stuff, and it was good stuff too. We would recycle PAs, and the VK3s came up with some designs for some exciter boards and 5.5 meg modulators, which we would build, and that was good stuff. So that was fun. Long time ago, but we've since moved on, haven't we? Let's see what I can bring up now. So I thought maybe last year I thought I'd get into DATV again, and it was all digital. And talking with Roger and Bevan, I realised that a lot of the technology now uses streaming. So I broadcast locally here in Adelaide because there wasn't much going, so I got some Raspberry Pis, and I could stream whether from myself or BATC or from the Perry guys or Whyalla guys, and rebroadcast locally. So that was a good thing. So once I got bitten by the bug by BATV, I started hammering up some stuff, and I thought, well, I'm going to make a transmitter and make it a bit bigger, a bit better, and even did a bias PCB, and I thought, well, this is going to get bigger as I'm making more and more stuff. Let's see what I can find. I'm learning to drive. I got in contact with Roger, managed to get a big PA, and I thought, well, I can put all this stuff together and broadcast locally, which I am doing right now today. That's being broadcast on 445.5 DVB-T, 7 megs. I'm using one of the BLF 888 modules, which can do 112 megs COFDM. And I'm only putting out about 30 watts, but into 4 antennas, giving 4 corners of the globe here in Adelaide a chance to see what's cooking. So that's what I'm up to, and that's what I've managed to do here in Adelaide. If you're interested in anything else that I've been doing, or what I've done and how I've done it, I have a website for those interested, vk5fq.com. There's a DATV page, and it can give you an idea of some of the backgrounds about how I got into it. One of the things I was really impressed with was the Portsdown 4, and playing with the Pluto originally. But with SRT and DVB-T, I thought, well, I'll go full stick. So put on the things to the max, in the sense that a lot of good stuff out there, a lot of fun to play with. And I thought, well, this is good stuff, and I'm enjoying it immensely. So thanks for having me. I hope you get some more out of this QSO party from all the others here. I'm really interested in what you've got out there, and it's been great to see so many people. And it's a bit scary at first, but I know with a bit of practice it'll be better next year. Thanks for watching, and I'll say g'day, and thanks for Bevan and all the people in the background who've been able to help out and give it a go. And it's good to see what you're up to in your part of the world. And
Okay, we've got a black screen there on ATV 2, which is not me.
Aha! I think we have re-established contact with the antipodes. So I will now, therefore, if I can remember how to do this now, pass it over to you, Martin, G8 KOE. Assuming you're ready to rock, I'll put it over to you, and you're now live in Australia, so we can carry on. G4FKK.
Well, we got some music, so I presume we're actually live. Well, we got some music to turn me down, but well, that was eventful. I can see we're getting out, which is good. My name's Martin, J8KOE, located down in Somerset, which is in the southwest of the UK. It worried me because I was watching something else come out. I just had a power cut as well. Literally, 2 short power cuts, which I had to reboot the complete system this end, just to add to the more confusion. Right, let's move on, because I think I'm limited to 5 minutes or thereabouts, according to Martin. He'll shout at me on the talkback. Right, my station's located in the corner of the lounge. The XYL lets me get away with it, and that's what it looks like. It's 3 HD monitors, 1 computer on the left. The red screen is a ride receiver, which is what I use to stream things if I'm doing that. The laptop on the left hand side is what I use for the SRT repeater that I run. I found that worked far better than using an encoder box. I used a Zoe box originally, but that caused nothing but problems, and that works. And the SRT repeater is actually sitting just behind the microphone there. Right, let's go on to another picture, so that I can. Underneath the bench is I've got Pico Tuner Ride, Winter Hill, and etc. etc. All neatly tidied up. Next, that's the SRT repeater, which is 4 Raspberry Pis that pull in the SRT streams, and they go into a quad box. The audio is taken out through analog and mixed up. The logic is to control the quad box is written by another Martin, a G4FKK. It just emulates the remote control. So that's what we've got there. That you can see what the test card looks like on the repeater, which is 4. So we can take 4 inputs. If any one input comes in, then it'll go full screen, which is what the remote control does. Logic side of things. Under the bench on the other side of the room, which is under the router, is
on the left hand side is a Media MTX server, which is what I stream the SRT repeater with, and on the right hand side is an All-Star node, which is what we use for talkback. I find it very, very useful personally. And let's go on further. Now that's the garage where neatly I've installed the PA, which is at the top, various Raspberry Pis controlling, and hidden down the bottom there is the Pluto, which is in a box, and is also the Abodna locked, and pillar drill, etc., etc. in there. That's then fed to the dish, which is outside above the garage, and I'll try to keep on. That's how we make it out. If we go to there, the SRT repeater, that's a block diagram of roughly what it works like. If you want to see more information on it, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is G8KOE, the ATV, and there's a rather fast video. I must slow it down, but it runs through all the different bits of kit that is actually used. Right, let's go back to me. I think that's probably enough to fill things in. I was told not to go on for too long. I could show some old pictures, I suppose, quickly, because everyone likes old pictures. So think of me, the amount of hair I've got, etc. No audio on the pitch. That's because I didn't take a microphone across. That's a silly thing. So if we grab a microphone, it doesn't matter how many things you test. We'll copy that and we'll go back to the pictures, and there's not many of them. Right. Hopefully we've now got some audio. Yeah, there will be now. You've got some audio now, I should think. Hopefully, he says. Let's monitor on that one. Hopefully. Yeah, there's audio there. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's you can hear Martin, my station manager, in the background coming on the All-Star link. That's one of the first repeaters that we put together, which used ZX81. Right, let's quickly go through these. That's another test card going back, which was a black and white, obviously. That's where the repeater was located. Just to the left is the top of a lift shaft, and you've got all the lift gear there. Health and safety didn't exist, so you had to make sure you didn't put your arms in the cables that ran over there. But that was on top of the hospital in Brighton, in Sussex. That's we moved in across to the main part of the hospital and put up a few more aerials and the camera and the weather station and some 10 gig stuff, etc, etc, etc. And inside we had two racks, cabinets rather, this end. In fact, there was another cabinet at the other end of the room, and the room that we were in, you could put a tennis court in it pretty well. It was that sort of size. It was used as a mortuary, which originally. Right, that's one of the 10 gig test cards that used to go out. And that's the view from the hospital across Brighton, across to Worthing in Sussex, all across there. I'll keep it going. So, we had a digital output, which was cheated on 10 gigs, that is, and that was the equipment that was used, all commercial equipment, and that worked exceedingly well. I didn't understand that G4 WTV was involved then in doing that side of things. and when we went in the contest, the BATC contest, there's the wagon, and I was stuck in the background. I don't know what the last picture is. And the whole repeater was funded, basically all the repeaters we put on, by the Solent transmitter, the TX23, which is a 23-sim transmitter kit that we used to sell. And that one is my test one, which has 3 channels, I think that one had, which was the phase lock board on the left-hand side of the corner. Anyway, I'm going to get told off now, I should think. I've probably exceeded my length of time. Hopefully that wasn't too boring. And I think it's Gary next, ZS6YI. So if you haven't fallen asleep, Gary, it's going to be over to you. I'll put a test card up without music, and then I'll pass it over to you from G8KOE.
Okay, Martin, let's just hope this thing locks. There we go. Nice to see everybody on, and a very big thank you to Dave for giving us an update on the ports down. Thanks for that, Dave. That was very interesting. And thanks to Peter and Richard and Martin, FKK, for organizing this event. Always nice to talk to the Aussies. I'm just wondering, the guys in the Adelaide area, Steph, VK5FQ, a very old friend of mine, Rod Kopp, and for the life of me, I can't seem to recall his call sign, VK5. My late son had a VK5ATY call sign for some time in Adelaide, and we met Rod, and there was a Uwe guy. Uwe passed away, but I haven't heard of Rod for the last 2 years, and we used to keep in touch via Facebook, so I hope he's okay. He was a good pilot in his day, and I do have his number, so I'll try and give him a ring sometime, but I hope he's okay. I don't know if you chaps have bumped into Rod. He was one of the first guys on Echolink back in 2002. Anyway, that's all I had a big lightning strike here recently. Recently is exactly 6 months ago, and so my shack looks like a hurricane's hit it, and I've just got back on the air. I've been so busy at the salt mine, and then I put a new computer in with, I decided to go AMD, their latest chip, 16 core and the whole story, and there was an issue with it, a factory issue, so they returned it overseas, and it took time to get me another one, all under guarantee, so that was good. And the station's sort of working okay again, not at the level it should be, but anyway. Martin, good to see you, by the way, King of England. Really colourful picture you got there, nice, everything is working well. Okay, with that, I'm going to pass it to John. I haven't seen you for a while, John. I did see you the other day, just briefly, and I hope you're well. I know you were ill as well. So, a G7, a Julia Tango Tango, and will you pass it to ZS1 Mexico Mexico when you're done, John, from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India. You got there, nice. Everything is working well. Okay, with that, I'm going to pass it to John. I haven't seen you for a while, John. I did see you the other day, just briefly, and I hope you're well. I know you were ill as well. So, a G7, a Julia Tango Tango, and will you pass it to ZS1 Mexico Mexico when you're done, John, from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
Right, okay, let me just mute some audio. No, wrong one. Oh, well, bear with me a second. There we go, that'll do. Right, good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it be, all around the world. Name is John. I'm sure a few of you probably saw me last year, and last year I was somewhat further away than where I am now. So let me just quickly go across to here, and thank you for Gary there. Yeah, I'm basically fine, so still surviving, still here to annoy everybody. So anyway, we moved from the Southampton area, which is down here, and I'm now all the way up here
in Lincoln, so up in the East Midlands, quite a way up. Nothing for you guys over in VK and ZS lands. Distance is somewhat different compared to for us over here in the UK. Anyway, we're up here now, so let me just get back to me. We're there, and we're now in the new shack. So before it was, I think last year when I was on, it was the table in the front room as we were in the process of moving, and I'm now based in a double garage. Has that changed over, or is that frozen? Why is that not gone over? I seem to be stuck on. Oh, there we go. Right, just a massive time delay. Sorry. Right, apologies for that. So yeah, so we're now in a double garage, which can't be used as a garage because they built this thing 3 years ago, but the house has only just been built. This was originally the sales office, so when they built it too high, so the option was to demolish it, and we were only due to have a single garage. Well, I said to them, can't we leave this, and I'll lose a bit of my garden, and you can leave everything in here, and I'll just take it on as is and use it as a storeroom or something. And anyway, we managed to get them to agree to it. So I've now ended up with this as my shack now. So I'll give you a quick tour if this thing works. There we go. Right, so this is the main ATV side of stuff. That's my new Portsdown 4, which is still being built, and then you've got 4 monitors, including the laptop in the middle there, and that's just a little security camera there that I keep an eye on outside world. Here you've got my limited numbers of radios. Don't really have that many, to be honest. And that's the local TV repeater GB3VL, which does get used occasionally now. There's my little mascots, which are some Japanese rice fish in a little nano tank thing, which is a 8-gallon, I think it's, no, 8 litre, sorry, kilner jar, which is they're happy enough in there. They get fed all sorts of stuff. And then this is supposedly the test bench. There is actually something on there at the moment which I'm playing with, and you've got again a limited amount of test gear up there. The library somewhere there. Some of the junk that I've got, I mean, that's in the bottom down there is all monitors and TVs and computers and stuff I keep getting given. I can't be bothered to dispose of. Let me just turn all the way around. Sorry for the camera work. That's the solder station, which again isn't normally as tidy as that. Any work surface seems to be a dumping ground. And then this lot over here is you've got a Linux PC, a desktop, a Windows PC. That's just my tablet there at the moment, Windows tablet. I'm just doing some sweeps on a loop in the loft. And then this lot is all my components and spares and stuff. But you've also got in there, you've got the All-Star, no, not All-Star mode, you've got ADBS thingy, airplane tracker thing there. You've got a NAS drive in there as well. And then all my VLF stuff is that row along there. Over here is generally the workshop type area, but these are areas that need lots of work doing to them still. There's my sofa, which I often fall asleep on, which is quite good. Antenna storage and God knows what else. I don't know how far this is going to go around the corner. And then you've got bikes and gardening stuff around the corner there. So it's quite a nice size. All the shelving, all this stuff was already in here. The table was mine, that's mine. and the shelving here I put up, but the actual work surfaces were all here, so there's plenty of cupboards everywhere, plenty of under storage heating. The oil heaters were left in here as well, so they were pretty good, and it's carpet, look, which is a bonus. In the roof space, you've got these LED lights which are a bit too bright. I have got them on dimmers, and normally when I'm in here I don't normally have them on. There's enough light coming off of the other bits and pieces. But yeah, oh, and that's my 6 metre Moxon there, which I've been using to listen to a repeater on, not a repeater, a beacon on, which works really well inside, so pretty good. Right, that'll do for now. Let's get back to me. There we go. So that's pretty much it. Yes, thanks to everybody that's been involved in setting this up. It's always enjoyable. Maybe we need to do it more than twice a year. Oh yeah. So, as just been spotted, that's a Yard of Ale thing. I used to drink for a hobby and make my own beers and sorry, and do all my other bits and pieces. So that's to remind me of the good old days. I can no longer drink for health reasons. But anyway, with that, I've just been reminded. Ran to Leon. ZS1 Mike. Over to you, Leon. Cheers all. G7JTT.
I'll quickly take it. Leon's just phoned me. For whatever reason, he can't get his transmitter to switch on. So, Roger, would you like to take it, please? A Golf 3 India Uniform Zulu from ZS6YI, and hopefully Leon will come back a bit later once he's solved the transmitter problem. Take it away, Roger.
Right, well, good evening, good evening, good morning, and very good morning, early morning to the Americas if they're watching this, and nice to talk to Oz, where I have family in the Sydney area, but they won't be watching this, I'm afraid. But anyway, delighted to join the party for the second time. Last year I joined in briefly. Name is Roger. We're not very far from G8 KOE Martin, who was on just now, just a few miles away, down again in the county of Somerset. In the city of Wells, just give you a quick picture of that. There we are. That is our famous 13th century cathedral, which we have many visitors from around the world, and the Bishop's Palace is surrounded by the across the fields from near my home, and the moat around the Bishop's Palace. So back to me. Been licensed now 72 years, so I've had a dabble in most things amateur radio over the years, and many years ago I was involved with the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, in the 1950s, black and white television, outside broadcasts and studios, 405 line black and white. So, but this is great fun, and much enjoying digital television. At the moment, I'm running G4 ELY's television, SDR television, with a Pluto and a water-cooled PA and an offset 1.2 meter dish, which is somewhat shielded, so apologies for the slightly weak signal, but I think I'm getting through okay. No one seems to be complaining. So there we are. That's me, and keep it brief. So let's pass it what should we do? Shall we check? But I think I'll pass it to Keith, GU6EFB, and then if he passes it to Martin, yep, that's Martin's just confirmed that. So we'll take it for there, and do hope to see ZS1 and Mike. But lovely to see you, Gary. Just very briefly, we have missed you so much, so it's delightful to see you back on again. And hope all the problems are now solved and the lightning keeps away as well. Anyway, on to you then, Keith, in the Channel Islands, GU6EFB. This is G3IUZ with the VK Worldwide Party. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, good morning all. Yeah, I've got audio, so yeah, good morning, and thanks to everyone for letting us join in. Thought I'd put Guernsey on the map. Yeah, GU6EFB, name is Keith, and we're on the island of Guernsey, so we're 100 miles from the south coast of England and about 30 miles from the coast of France. On a small island which is 25 square miles, so not very big at all. And the only TV I'm really into at the moment is via QO100, because if I'm going to send anything else, it's got to make a 100-mile trip into the UK and a 40-mile trip into the nearest part of France there. So kind of, yeah, just show you the set. Oh, sorry, going the wrong way. Yeah, so there's the setup here. We've got two 1.2 meter dishes for QO100, one for transmit, one for receive. We've got a tool shed, which is the part of the green roof that you can see by the dish, and in there is some shelves, and in there is all the QO100 equipment, so the Pluto, the PA and everything. So we've only got about 3 meters of feeder going out to a potty patch feed on the dish. And there's the rest of the garden. It's been very hot and very dry, so the lawn's starting to turn brown. But the last few days we've had some welcome rain. So yeah, there's the estate as it is. Yeah, so kind of very much enjoy amateur radio. Got a complete shack of equipment here, so we can operate from 160 through to 10 gigs, and busy building some new equipment, ports down, and some suitable amplifiers for the lower bands. So enjoy all of that immensely when I have time. Okay, let's put it back round to Martin. Back round to you there, Martin. G4FKK from GU6EFB in Guernsey.
Yeah, sorry about that. There should be audio now. Yes, there you go. I discovered an interesting thing, because I'm running a back channel with the guys in Australia, and if I mute the audio on Zoom, which is where the back channel is, then it mutes it on OBS as well, which is infuriating. I've just had a text from Gary to say Leon has a big problem. might be the transmit computer's power supply, so he won't be up today, but he's watching. So, Leon, I hope you get that fixed very quickly. I don't know, it seems either you or Gary is struck by various problems there. Anyway, we've got some more guys from Australia, so there'll be probably more technical glitches as I stop streaming to Australia and they take over again, but hopefully they'll be short-lived. I'd really like to thank Peter and Richard in the background, Richard VK3 VRS, who's been sitting there juggling video and audio sources and trying to remind everyone that if they speak on Zoom it comes out on QO100. So it's been fun. And thanks also Martin and Gary, John and Roger for coming up, and you of course, Keith. If there's anyone else watching on QO100 who'd like to come up after the next batch of stations from Australia, then let me know on the chat and I'll liaise with Australia, see if we can get another one in. But it's been fun. I was going to, I see everyone's showing shacks and things. This is probably not a good idea, but because my shack is utter chaos. So if I switch over to that, I'll give you a very quick burst of my shack so that you don't go off having dinner or breakfast or whatever. That's the vintage kit. I've got a watch cleaning machine there. Bits of clock I'm fixing. It's just a god-awful mess, and you haven't seen the rest of it. So to stop churning stomachs, I'll stop doing that, and I'll put it back to Australia. I've just got to quickly work out how I'm going to do that. So I'll go back to the QSO party flyer. I will cut transmission, and I won't cut transmission here. I shall wait for the Australians to come back on. So to that effect, I'll do that. So Peter, I'm about to stop transmitting on SRT, and you'll be next up, or whoever you decide to put up next will be up on QO100. Thanks again.
Oh, maybe I'm on. I just realised. Hang on a sec. No, it's okay. Hang on. I'm on ATV 2. Yeah. All right, and yep. Stand by. Yes, hooray! Mamma mia! Alright, let's just check that the audio is there. It should be. Yeah, good eye. Alright. Alright, let's get rid of that test pattern. There we go. Well, there's always issues, isn't there? If it's not audio, it's video. Anyway, I know that we've got satellite time here. The QO 100, we're coming through that satellite. So we've got, it's time is money. Good evening, everybody, and mornings, and everybody. I am suitably impressed with this QO 100. I am suitably impressed. I think it is such an amazing thing that all these wonderful signals are coming via this geostationary satellite. I would love for this hemisphere to have our own geostationary satellite, something that encompasses, you know, everything in the side of the world. And wouldn't it be great if we did have something like that, and yet both satellites had a linking capability between them too, if they had that capability. But I really hope that one day we get our own geostationary satellite. That would be such a buzz. You know, for these ATV QSO parties that Peter stresses over so much, and the helpers, it would be a buzz to have so many other stations. You know, guys in New Zealand and everywhere else in Australia would be just perfect. It would be fantastic. Anyway, my name's Clint Jeffrey, and VK3CSJ, and the back channel. And let me turn that down a bit. All right, and we've been licensed since I was 16 years old, back in 1976. So, you know, I've been 50 years doing this thing, and I've spent so much money on this hobby. It's just ridiculous. But this is my current shack. You guys have been showing your shacks and saying it's a bit of a mess. You should see this shack. It's shock awful. There's my AR7. I think it was John GTT was showed. I think it was John. It showed an old AR88. I think it might have been. That's the AR7 Kingsley AR7 in the back there, and some beautiful Eddystone. You guys make wonderful radio receivers. Eddystone was a great brand. And anyway, that's my receiver rack over there. As you can see, there's the Collins station in that corner. That's a recent addition to this station. I never thought I would own a Collins setup, but there it is, a Collins station. The only thing that's missing from this S-line system is the linear, the 30S1. If anybody out there has a 30S1 that they want to get rid of, get in contact with me now, and I'll arrange it to come here, because I want one to complete this setup. You know that black and white publication picture that Collins has, that black and white photograph that has that that desk and the Collins station there and the linear on the floor. What a classic black and white photograph that is. That's what I want to reproduce here, although I've got a lot more equipment here. Just in the very far corner that you cannot see is my Yaesu station. I have the entire 101 series, the transverters, the frequency counters, the transverters, I said that, 3 101s, a B, an E and a double E. I love my Yaesu gear. I want that all on its own bench in due course. And the thing that I really treasure in this Radio Shack, the thing that cost me a few dollars to get, but the thing I really treasure, and it's the only one, as far as I know, the only one in Australia, is the Telefunken S2525 transmitter. That device just there in the corner with the Nixie tube frequency display running. I got that from a amateur in the Netherlands, Herbert, and I saw he photographed that on his Facebook page, and I said, I've got to have me one of these things. Now, the only thing that would have stopped me from getting that is if it had been three-phase. If it had been three-phase, I would have said, no, sorry, I can't handle that. But that's just single-phase transmitter. It's capable of a kilowatt, and it's all solid state. It's 1970s vintage design software, a design concept. What else can I say about that? It only has one valve in it. I know where. No, I might go looking for one, but it's got a ceramic valve, a square-looking valve, beautiful-looking thing. And yeah, I use that for 160 AM. I love my 160 metres AM, and every Sunday morning I broadcast the Wireless Institute of Australian News, courtesy of Bevan, VK5BD. Bevan stresses over his video version of, he's probably working on it right now, truth be known, the video version of the Wireless Institute News. So I grab a hold of that file and I broadcast it over 160, well, at least the audio side of it, but in an hour's time I do the WI broadcast by this repeater, well, not the QO100, but well, I wish I could, but yeah, through our Melbourne repeater, which is another wonderful invention from Peter VK3BFG. Anyway, I've got into my time, but yeah, so let me see. What I've been saying in the previous transmissions today, one of my other interests is optical astronomy. That's the dome that I've just recently put in. A 3-metre scope dome. It's called a 3-metre scope dome, and it gets designed and built in Poland and shipped to Australia, and I've only just recently installed that. This is an internal shot just there, looking from outside through the shutter, and it's a bit dark inside. This is another view inside. So now I haven't quite completed the inside of the shack yet, inside of the dome yet. I've got to get myself a pillar. There's a 600mm mounting pier that's arriving next week, so I can mount telescopes on the motor control, an NEQ6 equatorial mount. And then I'll be getting into some serious astrophotography. But that's a Celestron 8-inch. That one there is called a CPC 800, a Celestron 8-inch telescope and Cassegrain type design, computer control. It's an amazing telescope, that. And the other two telescopes I've got are two Saxons, a 12-inch Newtonian and a 6-inch refractor telescope, which I'm looking forward to, trying and doing some serious work on the sky. So that's my other where all my money goes, and will continue to go. I've still got to get cameras, specialised cameras for looking at the sky, planetary camera and deep sky camera. They're very expensive equipment, but that's what you need. This is I'm on an acre and a quarter of land here. I'll just quickly show you a drone footage of the property. This is where I live in Narrewarren South, about 40 kilometres southeast of Melbourne, and that was just at the end of that. So let me go again. I'll just start it there, and play, go and play. There we go. So I've got two Nelly towers, what we referred to as two-section self-supporting tilt-over towers, very common in this country for a long time. They only go about 14 metres, which is about as far as the local councils are happy for you to have. But you can see how heavily, this is during the spring and summertime, so we're fully leaved up here with all the trees. Right now there's not a leaf on any of these trees, not a leaf at all. But I live in that barn that you see there, and that's where I am right now. It's 8:36 in the evening, so it's nice and dark outside, I can tell you. This video footage is courtesy of Mark, VK3JMA. And again, the other thing is I'm also a member of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, the ASV, and been a member since 1993. This is our dark sky site, and when I was section director for the radio astronomy section, I found this dish antenna, a DS Kennedy dish antenna. It's a 30-foot dish, 8.5 metre, and we're using that for doing radio astronomy, and hopefully maybe sometime in the future we'll be able to do some moon bounce on that as well, so stay tuned, as they say. But this is the dark sky site that ASV has, the Astronomical Society of Victoria, and it's central Victoria, where the skies are pretty good to look at the stars. What else is there quickly? This is the transmitter that I'm on right now, the Hydes HV320 DVB-T. It's only running a watt out at the moment and hitting the repeater with full strength. The repeater is about 20 kilometres away from me, and with that little device there, I'm hitting it without any problems at all with a grid pack antenna at the top of the tower. So that's live. That's actually operating right now as I speak, and you can see commercial TV running in the background there. And that's probably about it in a nutshell. Where's my video camera? Where's my camera? Where is my camera? There we are. And I use vMix. All the video production side of this station here is using vMix, which has been quite successful. Still getting a handle on how to use it, but yeah, vMix is a nice program for all this nonsense that goes on. I'm a member of the BATC, and this is of course the magazine that they produce, CQTV. You guys do a magnificent job at this. Never stop publishing this. The amount of information, even in this recent one, the amount of information in here is just beautiful. It is a beautiful production. Don't you stop making this. I love it, and it smells beautiful. So you keep this production going, you guys at the BATC. Absolutely marvellous club. Okay, on that note, who's next? It's Steve, VK3TTF, I think. So that's all from me for the moment. And or maybe Mick, VK3CH. Maybe we'll toss to Mick 3CH. He was having a bit of a problem with his audio. It's such a damn nuisance. Anyway, who needs audio? We can sign language, yeah? Anyway, this is Clint Jeffrey, VK3CSJ. Cheers, mate, from Melbourne in Australia. Oh, that's lovely. That's good stuff. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Where's my test pattern? There we are. Take it, Mick.
Okay, we should have audio. Yes, I can hear that. Okay, sorry about that. We had vMix running since the morning session, and obviously it's run too long and something's tripped over. And given all the work that it has to do, and I've got a screen capture on another monitor, I've got a Word document open. Yes, so yes, I'm not surprised that the computer doesn't have a hissy fit now and then. Alright, well, we've put a 3-minute video together to sort of explain everything, because ultimately you will forget something or talk too much about one bit. So we'll cut across to the video and then I'll come back later. I've got to find it now. You're watching VK3CH Digital Amateur Television. Hello everyone, from Mick, VK3CH, operating out of Doncaster, which is a suburb of Melbourne, located 20 kilometres from the Melbourne Central Business District in Victoria, Australia. We moved here in 2018. On the roof are tri-bander verticals for 2 metres, 70 centimetres and 23 centimetres, with a 6 metre vertical located near the front. A HF wire loop runs around the property. We use a top-loaded vertical for 160 metres. These are the transmit 23cm beam and 70cm receive beam facing VK3 ATV located 11 kilometres away. When transmitting video from the back deck, we use these radios for liaison. We have retired our SR Systems DVB-S transmitter, but it's still able to be switched in when necessary. As of this year, we are now transmitting in high definition using the hides into a 150 watt PA. For 10 GHz portable, we have the 8 watt Coon analog television transmitter. And for 24 GHz, we have the 300 milliwatt analog transmitter. When going microwave portable, we used to use this setup here. This covered every band from 23cm right through to 10 GHz, but it did take a bit of a time to set up. A presentation on the microwave setup was done and taped to YouTube. To make going portable easier, we installed everything into the rear of the car. This saves an incredible amount of time for either setting up or packing up. To operate, the flap is just lifted with the radio control head attached to the other side. Then the coaxial cable is attached to the radios. Then the 2 lots of microwave antennas are put on the roof and the coax is attached to them. With the battery attached, we're ready to operate. The 2 antennas on top of the car cover all the 5 bands that the IC905 can transmit, including television, hence the video camera in the picture. Also note that where the operator's chair sits, we are just underneath any microwave transmission. We operate out of an area called Kinglake Central, which is 45 kilometres north of the city of Melbourne. The high voltage power lines do not affect the microwave transmission in any way. Transmissions of both single sideband voice and television are made with complete success. 73 from Mick, VK3CH in Doncaster, Victoria, Australia. See you next year. Audio again. All right. Okay, that was our video. So we've just got a short little bit of a magazine that we write here. So our Melbourne TV group, they had a meeting in a club rooms. Hang on, I've got to put the mouse up here. Club rooms where people showed off the amateur gear that they're working on, various projects. So there's quite a mix here of ports down. I'm not sure about SR Systems, it could be. Some hides, you name it. So Plutos, we'll just sort of go through here. So I think about 20 people turned up, I think, at this last meet. I think this is the second time we've had this meeting. Richard VRS has been Mr. ATV over in the west, over in Williamstown, I think, is putting these together. Or is it Richard? I get confused. Anyway, yeah, there's my car on the top right hand side. So my demo was outside, not in the rooms. And there's most of the crew. I think 1 or 2 had slipped out for lunch. But there's people demoing their stuff. There's Richard VRS just at the front of the picture there. Okay, and that's about that. So we'll find the mouse again. And you're back to me. All right, that's probably about all we've got. Quite a few stations on, especially from England. So good to see that. I like the guy on the island in the middle of England and France, he's got his choice of 2 lots of repeaters there. So, yeah, and no neighbours to bug you, but it might be a bit of a stretch to go shopping when you need to. But there you go. All right, long as the cellar's stocked. All right, not quite sure who I'm putting it back to. So, well, I'll put it back to Peter, I think, or Richard. Someone will know who to take. And, yep, good to see the turnout. This is Mick VK3CH. Cheers.
Speaking, here I am. Thanks, Mick. That was great. Yeah, that was a very good weekend. Things are going really well. Thanks to everyone on the satellite. Great seeing you all again. Yeah, it's only once a year, but I know it's a lot of organising, and very thank you to Peter for, putting all this together. I'm just in the back end helping with a few technical things and doing some switching. I'll just quickly, and sorry about the shaky cam because this is very impromptu, but I'm just going to show you the setup. If I can pull these cables, I didn't even have time to do anything else, but you'll see there's our back channel there. Hi Pete, how you going? Rightio. And if I spin around over to there, you'll see that my shack is in disarray. Well, look at that. That's an interesting effect. That's the green screen that you can see. You can see the workshop there behind the green screen, and there's everything that's going on. Quite a bit to look at. Switching, you can see there's my ports down there, transmitting away, audio, all sorts of things going on. And more importantly, that computer there is actually what's doing all the streaming and whatnot. So that's using OBS, and you'll also see that it is streaming onto Discord as well. So that's doing the streaming there. And then my main production computer, if I can get around, is there, as you can tell, and I'm actually using oh look, and the green
Hello, I'm Dennis, VK3YLH, located in Belgrave South, a suburb of Melbourne, 50 odd kilometres east of the city. Been active in amateur television for quite a long time, transmitting on most modes, digital, FM, AM. We even tried the other day on 70 centimetres, 1.2 and 6 metres. Quite an active group here in Melbourne. Mainly thanks to Peter, 3BFG, who's the leader of the gang. Anyway, here's a quick shot of a few of the transmitters you'll recognise, and then I'll just finish with a bit of Australian wildlife, if you haven't already seen some of our animals. Cheers for now, enjoy the rest of the party. Bye. Firstly, the high-des transmit and receive. Underneath is a SR Systems HD and SD, and to the right you'll probably all recognise the ports down system, which we've used on quite a few different frequencies and symbol rates, all amplified up to around 100 watts if necessary. We tend not to need that much in Melbourne.
Hello. He's fascinated, isn't he? Yeah. We are at the Mount View Reservoir in Glen Waverley, and this is the site of the Melbourne ATV repeater VK3RTV, and we're looking looking at the tower that holds the repeater antennas. Right at the very top is the vertical array, which is the transmit antenna. They're very nicely positioned. The transmit frequency for VK3RTV is 445.5 MHz, DVB-T2. Dual quads, and you can see the northeast array there facing us, and you can also see the southeast and the westerly one around the corner. Can't see the southwesterly one in this view. I'm inside the shack now, and looking at the very top of the rack, and we'll just scan down slowly. Right up the top of the rack now, standing on a ladder, and that black box there has a relay in it and has the capability of switching the power directly off RTV, so we can recycle or close down remotely. You can see a Raspberry Pi just there in the background, and these boxes here are the HDMI interfaces. Each receiver has a preamp, and in this case it's fed through a bias tee or DC isolation, and then it goes up to this metal box here, which is a 3 dB coupler. One port of the coupler goes to the satellite port of the receiver, and the other side goes to the input of the down converter, and then the output of the down converter goes to the domestic port of the combo receiver. Now if you watch the dial, you'll see that the receivers are polling between input 1 and input 2. Now, input 1 is, in this case, will be 1255 dBs, and then input 2 will be the down-converted DVB-T signal. So all of the receivers are polling between their DVBS receiver and their domestic receiver fed from a down converter. Down the bottom here we have a couple of small monitors, and they're just displaying the input signals should they be there. We don't have any at the moment. Then we have a controller. In this case it's RTV1 controller. In the middle there we have a media player, which is controlled by RTV1 controller, although it could be controlled from RTV2 controller. Both controllers are really configured the same, but RTV1 is configured as the master. Should that one fail, we can configure RTV2 controller as the master. So underneath that we've got our SR systems, multiplex DVB-T2 exciter, and in there is a small PA. The next panel down is the PA controller, the main PA, and we've got temperature, VSWR, and high voltage protection on the main PA. And underneath that, inside there is a driver, which is just a standard Mitsubishi module, and then we have the main set PA. Both are sitting on the same heatsink, but they're just joined together very conveniently. In the previous iteration, we had a separate unit for that, which took up a fair bit of space and was really unnecessary. Directly underneath that, we've got tangential fans, which feed directly up into the heatsink of the PA. And then underneath that, we've got the power supply for the controllers, and also for the penultimate driver, which is in with the main PA. And then right down the bottom here, we have the 50-volt supply for the main set PA. Over here we have a small workbench, which can be handy, and up on the wall we have a monitor. ATV is now keyed on locally. What we can see the LCD screen there, and up on the monitor there we have what's been transmitted at the moment. So it's a very quick, very nice ATV. We are at the Mount View Reservoir in Glen Waverley, and this is the site of the Melbourne ATV repeater VK3 RTV, and we're looking at the tower that holds the repeater antennas. Right at the very top is the vertical array, which is the transmit antenna. They're very nicely positioned. The transmit frequency for VK3RTV is 445.5 MHz, DVB-T2. These are dual quads, and you can see the northeast array there facing us, and you can also see the southeast and the westerly one around the corner. Can't see the southwesterly one in this view. I'm inside the shack now, and looking at the very top of the rack, and we'll just scan down slowly. Right up the top of the rack now, standing on a ladder, and that black box there has a relay in it and has the capability of switching the power directly directly off ATV, so we can recycle or close down remotely. You can see a Raspberry Pi just there in the background, and these boxes here are the HDMI.
Hello all. Yeah, finally get to go on. It's been a while. Been waiting in the wings to go on for quite some time. Don't know what happened, but I was ready to go this morning, but that didn't proceed. But yeah, I'm Stephen, VK3TTF. I've had my amateur radio license now for just over 12 months. I'm advanced registered. I'm not sure what that translates to in the US or UK, but that's the top of our 3 tiers here. I'm about 12 k's south, I think almost directly south actually, of our repeater here, so pretty easy for me to get in down in Keysborough, so that makes it pretty easy. Pretty much have line of sight. When I'm on my roof I can almost see the actual transmit tower, so that does make it very much easy to align an antenna to compared to a lot of people on here. It is also good. I've had quite a few people from Melbourne on the RTV repeater today. Last night we actually had quite a big storm. I know on my weather station I reported 82 k's an hour, which I translated for everyone else 44 knots or 51 miles per hour. So fairly high wind gust here. We don't usually get that much here in Melbourne. So yeah, good that looks like no one's transmit and receive antennas have been damaged in that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you a couple of pictures of my rig. Probably go into shaky cam temporarily, which is actually hanging up to charge because it's been working for a while. I'll have to get that set up again in a second. But let's go over to this one. So that's actually my my roof. couple of antennas. So I live, it's a double-story house, but how I actually had the house built, it was one that we designed. I actually had it built so it's actually easy for me to get up on the double-story spot over on the garage roof and up, so it's sort of one story at a time, and solar panels underneath. So if I slip, I'm not going too far, hopefully hit a solar panel. So, but I'm pretty confident up there. So we can see the vertical polarization there. That's the receive antenna, and the little one just in front of it there is the horizontal one. That's our 1.2 gig transmit into VK3 RTV. Those guys just go down into, I've got a little wall plate, just SMAs. This is literally almost directly below where the antennas are. I'm literally sitting underneath the antennas on the roof. So yeah, just got a little wall plate with some SMAs, just got some little blanking plates and drilled some holes and put some little SMA mounts on that one, so I can put a few antennas up. Actually, I forgot to mention too, behind it, this is my amateur radio one in front, but the one behind it actually has my weather station and ADSB aeroplane tracking antenna on it as well. So that's those couple of ones there. So that one I think I've gone through. One I have actually covered previously, but a few people might be interested in it. This is the board I designed for my TV transmitter. I'll go shaky cam, it's really hard to see down the bottom. This is a controller board, does all the power switching, temperature monitoring, Ethernet, so it's got API, little dashboard, you can monitor everything. Fans plug into it and you can control the fan speeds. Down the bottom of the picture is actually the oscillator, so it's my main oscillator that I mix with the DVB-T modulator, and there's serial and all sorts of other IOs and IR and stuff that I haven't actually got to set up yet, so it's fairly universal. You can see here it's a close-up and just the Ethernet, and to the left of the Ethernet port there's a couple of little white connectors. They're just general IOs you could use for IR or anything like that one. There's another picture just from above that's a bit easier to see. Yeah, and then what I might just do, I might just play this one. Can I go straight to that? Crank off the video, audio there. So there's some surface mount parts on this board. So if you haven't seen surface mount technology before, really interesting. So the grey stuff is solder paste, not actual solder. It's a paste that you put down. You can see at the top there, I'm just using a hot air gun. That's set to I think like 250 degrees or something like that. What actually happens, there's a paste, as it warms up, melts a bit, it goes a bit more liquidy, and then you'll see all of a sudden it uses like the wicking effect, and it all actually wicks up, it goes shiny, and it'll get sucked up into all the pins. It's really, once it goes very quickly. You'll see it here in a second change. So interesting technique, but this is how you solder all your little chips. Works really well, much quicker than trying to solder. I think that's like 24 pins or something like that one. Much quicker and easier. If you want to do this professionally, there is a proper temperature profile that you follow. You slowly warm it up, you bake it, and then you take it up to really high temperature temporarily to actually melt the solder, and then you let it slow down slowly is the gist of that one. So you'll see I was sort of trying to hold it away, let it warm up a bit first, and then actually properly flow it. So that's good. There you go. So yeah, hopefully that helps. I do a lot of other blogging and bits and pieces as well. So if I show you, this is my blog. I do a lot of amateur radio stuff and also non-amateur radio stuff. Little AWS, I usually do a lot of AWS cloud things. But if you need DTMF tones, a little thing that just creates the DTMF tones there, a few things like that. Some of my other ones here that I've done for amateur radio, ICOM, the ID 5100 fan upgrade or downgrade, it actually doesn't keep it quite as cool, but it's a lot quieter. If you're using the GT Media set-top boxes, a really easy way to export and import your amateur TV tuning, so you don't have to try and actually get the signal on to tune your receiver in. You can actually just load the XML file in and pre-tune your device using SRT, and I'll actually flick over to that now. Actually, if I can go to here, we'll go to shaky cam. I'll show you that. So this is just an old Pixel phone that I'm using here. We'll just go over here. So this is actually my transmitter, all in one box. Using that motherboard, it uses just a normal computer ATX power supply, normal computer fans. Underneath there, you might be able to see it, there's my the actual PA running in there. So this is a complete sort of transmitter in a box. So power in, HDMI in, network. I've got main output. This one goes out to the antenna, and then I've also got an IF monitor just plugged into a normal set-top box that I'm monitoring my audio and things like that as well. And obviously there's actually hidden down the back there's a USB cable, and that's actually how I program the Raspberry Pi Pico in it as well. Like a few others, I do use vMix. There's one of my screen and bits and pieces set up. So yeah, that's it all works pretty well, pretty smooth. So that's pretty good. I'll just go back to here. If you're interested in any of my blog bits and pieces, down the right there, that's my website. Go and have a look at that. And if you do want to get involved more with amateur TV in Australia, definitely recommend joining our Discord. I'm sure VRS will plug that again in a minute. But Discord's what we use for all our chat forums. We've got live streaming, like as Richard's already said, 3VRS has actually said that we're streaming this QSO party live on there as well. So you can always join that. It's low latency. YouTube is usually a bit higher latency. Use it for our forums, lots of chat things there. Someone just today actually found out their TV at work was able to tune the amateur TV frequencies, so I think they're tuning in from work today, at least this morning they were. You can also do direct messages to people and get in contact with them as well on here, so very useful for us. We don't have the whole BATC forum website and things that we manage. This is just a nice simple free thing. Anyone can pretty much join it. You follow that link or the QR code, and you can actually join in on our TV community. So that's all good. I think that's all I wanted to cover today. I've been on air for a few minutes, so I will hand it over to the next person. Thank you very much, everyone.
I'm not sure if I'm on RTV or not. I don't think I am, actually. Oh yeah, I may be actually. Yeah, looks like I am. So, sorry, Peter and Richard. I had to cut the Zoom audio because every time anyone used Zoom, it was coming out on QO100 just by the way the audio's patched up here. So apologies for that. But thank you very much for organising this, Peter, and for all your hard work in the background there, Richard. It was great to see everybody on. There's some very interesting work going on in VK, obviously. Let me just. I'll just connect the Zoom audio because I can see some chat going on there. So I can now hear the Zoom audio, I think. And hopefully it won't go out too much on QO100. But yeah, thanks Richard, thank you Peter, thanks for everyone who joined the net from over there, and thanks to everyone over here. A few technical funnies, probably better if I got a proper lesson from Richard and Peter as to how it all works over there, because seemed to be some SRT issues. But that was great fun, and we'll look forward to next year's one. So I don't know whether I should put it over to Peter or Richard, but I don't quite know how they're working it over there. They've got two repeaters, and I'm not sure if Peter's getting in via RF or via SRT. So it's all very. Sorry, say again, Richard. I can hear you now. All right, so I'll put it over to Pete.
We've still got some audio running in the back there, but
I will
never
sign
mind.
off as well. But thanks for your patience, everyone. Oh, I better turn the Zoom audio off, otherwise they'll be hearing me drone.
Never mind. Look, it's been fun. Unfortunately, we have to apologise to Stephen, 3 Tango Foxtrot. Richard was inadvertently on the wrong frequency.
What do I say? TTF, sorry, got so many things.
Okay, looks as though we're back. Yeah, sorry, it is TLF there had some problems, and also apology to Stephen, who was waiting in the wings there, and we were unaware of that because monitoring a wrong frequency there, but that's what happens. Also, special thanks to Martin over there in the UK. We did have some SRT issues. It seems to be intermittent, or I'm not quite sure why that is, but it works and it doesn't work, so we need to address that one in the future. But it's now nearly 9:30 at night, and we've been going since about 9 this morning, or we started at 10 officially. So it's been a long day, but it's been fun as well. And a special thanks to Richard, VK3 Victor Romeo Sierra, for running the YouTube all the time, and also for doing a lot of the background work there and the switching. Without him, it would have fallen over very seriously. But as usual, we had audio problems, and unfortunately, we had Bill AB0MY on just at the end, and I couldn't get audio through on him. So sorry to there, Bill. And look, I really appreciate the fact that you were up so late, and I really appreciate the support that you give the party. That's very much appreciated. And one of the things that happened was that the Boulder ATV repeater fell over about a day ago. So we had a few dramas, one of them from the whole event, but I don't think I've had an event where things have been absolutely smooth all the way through. So that's it for tonight and this year. So thank you to all that have participated in the ATV QSO party. The guys in South Australia, of course, always great to have you guys with us. And to Bevan, who does the weekly WIA broadcast, which we do transmit here at 10:30 AM in the morning and at 8 at night. So you get a fair bit of air down here in Melbourne, Bevan, and keep up that work. It's just amazing. So for me, Peter, VK3BFG, it's time to stop, and we'll see you all next year with a bit of luck. Cheers now.